The Wyverns of Kalimdor are intelligent flying creatures that, according to the Warcraft free manual, somehow share a common ancestry with the dragons and the griffins. While it's unclear exactly how that is, they are, like the griffins and the dragons, highly intelligent creatures who are even able to understand Orcish and Taur-ahe. They are perfectly content in not understanding other languages such as Common and usually ignore those who try to speak to them in those. They can't really directly speak the languages they do understand back in conversation, but they are able to growl in specific ways that, to those who are trained in listening to them, can even communicate complex ideas. Wyverns in general also value honor in, well, humanoids for lack of a better term, enjoy flying and ferrying their riders, and care the most about their young and their eggs. Wyverns typically hail from the most inhospitable regions of Kalimdor, usually mountains or arid regions, and are usually carnivorous. Carnivorous including eating other sapient humanoids, unlike their griffin counterparts in the Alliance. For instance, the Horde in Alterac Valley fed their wyverns the flesh of Alliance soldiers. On that note, they also sometimes, rarely, turn on their handlers, as there's apparently an orc saying that goes, "Don't pull a wyvern's tail." Because of living in such inhospitable regions, they tend to adapt very quickly and very well to other hostile environments, which, well, definitely helps the Horde war effort. For instance, the Northrend Wind Riders have, quote, adapted extremely well to the cold. The Outland ones, however, typically need some time, training and caring before they can adapt to the hazardous environment, and the Horde war effort there did suffer shortages in wyverns. At first, the wyverns came to serve as flying mounts for the Horde willingly, after Thrall and Cairn liberated a group in Stone Talon from harpies. They were specifically said to be impressed by the orcs' commitment to honor and victory in that regard. According to a goblin that admittedly heavily dislikes them and this alliance, the orcs and the Tauren consider the wyverns to be sacred as a result, though again this might be a fairly strong word given the source. This relationship also does not apply to all wyverns, as there are several groups that would still much rather keep their independence and are outright hostile to outsiders. Now, generally speaking, the Horde always suffers from a lack of wyverns, with the demand simply being too much for the available supply of willing ones. Because of this, in spite of being sacred to them, Horde Wind Riders, including Tauren ones, often go and gather wyvern eggs to fill this demand. There have also been other groups, such as the Gorduni Ogres of Dire Maul, who have enslaved adult wyverns by holding their young hostage. Wyverns are also well known for their highly potent venom, which is sometimes considered more valuable than the creature itself. It resides in two soft and sensitive venom sacs, quote, arched upward on the wyvern's long-ridged tail. The venom has been repeatedly sought out by both Alliance and Horde parties, which naturally, and somewhat surprisingly for the Horde, including poaching them to get their venom sacs. I should mention that Horde Wind Riders, which also sometimes used in venom weapons, probably don't use wyvern venom. Namely, the Warcraft manual states that they use, quote, venom from Stranglethorn's giant jungle snakes, which seems odd given how the events of the Orc campaign took place in Kalimdor nowhere near Stranglethorn, but I would presume that the wyverns would not take kindly to the Horde using their venom sacs.